More on our top story. I'm joined by Şaban Kardaş. She's a professor at the Tobb University of Economics and Technology. Şaban, thanks very much for your time this afternoon or this evening. Now, firstly, obviously Saudi has been fighting Daesh from its own southern border. What is the significance of this move to the Incirlik Air Base? Is this, of course, it is to do with the fight against Daesh, but is it also part of a strategic plan to build the relationship with Turkey?
It's both, actually. I mean, the choice of Incirlik is important because it's a US airbase. It means that there is US approval involved in the background, and it will be in the context of the so-called anti-Daesh coalition that came out in 2014. But as a matter of fact, since the summer of 2015, Turkey did announce that US airplanes plus some other coalition partners will be able to use Incirlik extensively against Daesh. So first, in that context, yes, it is a reflection of anti-Daesh positions of both countries. But second, it is also a reflection of the bilateral evolving partnership which has been observed in the case of Turkish leaders' visit to Saudi Arabia. Recently, the chief of staff was also there. There were consultations going on, and Saudi military delegations did visit Turkey to do site inspections. So it does reflect both parts of your question.
Well, I mean, Turkey's got a huge military, the second to the US and NATO members, so it doesn't really need Saudi's help. But if Saudi does want to help, is it going to be more through the air efforts, or do you expect there to be troops on the ground as well?
Well, I mean, the foreign minister's statement to Turkish press, which you referred to in your story as well, he says when needed, but he also means when conditions are ripe. This was actually the position Turkey has been defending since the very beginning, that air operations alone will not solve the problem. At one point you would need the ground component. But at this stage, we don't know. So at this stage, I think initially it will be mainly air component. There will be additional strikers that can be used against Daesh targets. And then if there will be ground component, it might be more special forces than a massive invasion force, in my own understanding. And then the target could be potentially Raqqa. You know, recently there have been some other developments, but eventually the discussion will shift to how to liberate Raqqa from Daesh. And in that context, airstrikes plus some special forces operations could be needed, and this is where that Saudi presence in Incirlik within the context of course, US-led anti-Daesh coalition could make meaningful contribution. But other than that, extensive ground invasion kind of operation might be a bit far too further down the way.
Okay, Şaban Kardaş, thanks very much for your time. Interesting stuff.